What's up, peeps? So, second video for the day. I want to talk about you guys. My last video, I was just talking about making sure you buy herbs and buy varieties of vegetable and fruit that are in your zone and are cold hardy, and in that way they can, if they're perennial, they will come back every single year, and you don't have to keep replanting, which is just an amazing thing. This time, I want to talk about these because I got some starts yesterday, and with this whole Corona thing, I have a whole bunch of people that before, when I was telling them, hey guys, you know, you need to start gardening, everybody was like, yeah, right. Now everybody, now everybody is like, yeah, you know what? Uh, in a situation where, you know, the markets are packed and all the fresh food is going, what happens if, you know, we need to be able to learn how to do something. So I got a lot of people starting to grow this year, and so I so they've been hitting me up, but normally they don't hit me up until after they do something. They go out and they buy a whole bunch of seeds, and they like, all right, we're gonna get started, and they're gonna start doing seed starting, and they never do the right thing. They always make these mistakes trying to grow seeds. You got the wrong varieties, you got all kinds of stuff that's going on. And so I always tell newbies, listen, don't reinvent the wheel. Never grow anything that you have not studied first, right? You got people that are trying to start things out of season when you're not even, it's too late. You should have already been doing this based on your zone. You should have been started this. So never do anything that you haven't studied. Okay. Secondly, you can't buy things that you can't take care of. So that's also you have to know about the plant itself, which means you have to study it, right? So for example, I got a bunch of people that went out and bought peppers and tomatoes, right? But they live in my zone or below. You're in my zone or below, which means it's colder. The tomatoes and the peppers cannot go out right now. My tomatoes and peppers are inside the house under some lights. You can't do that right now because your plants will die. Now, here's the thing though. They don't have lights. They don't have anything. They went and got the plants, and now they're going to try to keep the plants alive for a month. And a lot of times they're unsuccessful because they never studied the plant. I told one person, take everything back. You ain't going to buy none of this stuff until next month, because you have to be able to take care of these things. But another thing I want to talk to you guys about, when I tell newbies just starting, there's very few things I tell newbies to grow from seed. All right. Your first year gardening, and you guys, this is what I tell everybody when I deal with them individually. Your first year gardening is there to make you humble. Some people are more successful because they've studied first. So they say, if I want to grow a tomato, what do I need to do to grow a tomato? And then they read and watch all these videos on tomatoes. They watch all the pros talk about tomatoes, and then they follow the steps. Those people are more successful. Then you have some people that say, hey, I'm going to try it. And they get some dirt and they grab a plant. They don't know what to feed it. They don't know when to get it. They don't know the temperature. They don't know when to start it. They don't know anything. And they sometimes do good by chance, and then sometimes they don't. And then you have others that's like, I'm going to do the most difficult thing ever. I'm going to start a tomato from seed and run it all the way, and don't know anything about it. And those people are most times not successful, and then they end up giving up gardening, right? So I always recommend buying plant starts for newbies instead of seeds, because seeds do take a little bit of time to get the hang of. Also, you need, I don't care what people tell you, you do need some kind of environment for seeds. You need proper lighting. A lot of people think, oh, I can just sit it in the windowsill. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. Depends on the windowsill, depends on the area of light, depends on if you got big old trees in the back of your house that's blocking things. So sometimes that light in your windowsill is not enough. So seeds are very difficult. The seeds I do recommend people do are the ones that you can plant out in any time of the year, or at least in the spring, and they are very difficult to mess up. Things like spinach, things like string beans, peas, radishes. I just checked these out now. These are turnips. These turnips grow just like the radishes. So turnips are now going to be on my list. I don't know a lot of people that eat turnips, but whatever. But these are newbie seed starting. Tomatoes, peppers, and all those, you can start those from seed, but they require some things. And those newbies do not have that. So I recommend for newbies to buy a start. So when do you buy a start? You buy a start, and a couple reasons you'll buy a start. Me, I'm buying starts for these plants, right? Because I told you guys what we're looking to do is to get some perennial gardening going, right? So I could grow these from seed, but for the $3 I paid for this plant, if I can keep it alive for forever, then the extra $1.50 that I would have paid for this plant versus buying the seeds with the less headache, it's worth my time. Remember that mint plant over there, I paid $2.50 for that. I could have bought a pack of mint seeds for $1 or $1.50, but to buy that one plant, and I don't have to deal with nurturing it from the start, and it's lasted for 3 years, it's worth it to me. So if you are trying to do what I was just talking about, buying perennials, it might just be worth it to just go on and get something that's already started for your area, already grown. You don't have to nurture it from start to finish, and it will pay for itself, right? Everything is going to pay for itself, whether you got seeds or the starts. It's going to pay for itself, guys. So don't even worry about that. Also, if I was new to growing something, the first time growing it, I would start with the start first. You get a start, you put it in the ground, you nurture it, you see how it works from that stage on up. It's just like when you dealing with a seed, takes a whole lot of time and care. When you get to this, it's just like if you had a child, right? You get a child when they're babies, you got to worry about changing diapers, you got to worry about potty training, you got to worry about, these other things. And then they grow up, and after you get them through the hump, then you do schooling and you got to worry about all that kind of stuff like that. Well, this is just like saying, well, I got a baby, but the baby's already potty trained. The baby's already knows how their ABCs already. The baby already knows their right from their left. The baby already knows up and down, right? It's a little easier to start from there. Now, from here on up, yeah, you got work to do. But from that early period is where they're very tender. They're very, one thing you do can mess up, can kill it, and all that other kind of stuff. When you get them like this, they're already kind of established. Yes, you can still kill the plant, but it takes less to kill it at this stage than it does when you have these little tiny little things. You can kill those very quickly. So get yourself, if you are new, get yourself starts instead of. Now again, study to know when to buy your starts. If you're going to get tomatoes and peppers, don't get them in the in the spring. You got to get them when you get past that frost date, when it starts to warm up. You know what I mean? Things like these herbs here, they're cold hardy. They can survive in the cold weathers. So I went and got them now. Plus they're perennial. They're going to keep, I'm going to try to make these perennial so that they can keep coming back every year. So when you're deciding on should I start from seed or not, if you're new or if you never planted this before, start from the start. Once you grow it up, do a season, and you're like, hey, you know what, I actually like that. Then the next season, try to grow it from seed. If you don't like the plant, you say, cool, that just saved me from buying seeds the next year, right? Or if you get something like this and it may come back to you every year, and after the first year of cutting, it's going to be worth your while. And like I said, no matter if you bought a start for $3, $4, if you bought a tomato start for $4, guys, $4 is only 3 tomatoes. So if that plant produces 7 tomatoes, it already paid for itself. So you're going to get way more tomatoes off of it. So no matter what you do, it already is going to pay for itself. So don't let that be a deciding factor. You want to get the hang of being successful at something first. Starts allow you to be able to be successful, have a higher chance of being successful. Once you're successful, it gives you the confidence to now go to level 2, level 3 type of gardening. All right. So just some tips there. Talk to you guys later. Peace.